Good morning. It's Brian of Brian's Budget Bonsai. It is May 3rd, and we're getting an early start on a Sunday here with Shenanigans. First of all, update on what's going on in the greenhouse. We have a new thermostat just in time. And here it is. This one's BN Link, and I know you can't really see the LED display because of the frame rate causes it to blink, but we got it set for median temperature of 70 degrees, and it actually went off. The heater went on last night because it got down to 35 degrees. I thought that's ridiculous. April 15th is supposed to be our last frost date. There was frost on the roofs. Luckily, there was not frost on the plants. Yeah, here, still getting frost in May. This year doesn't obey any of the rules. And so what we also did is, so this one doesn't fry out from the heat and humidity in here, I have given it a little lock box here, a little, hopefully protected from the heat and humidity in here. So, but everything is looking pretty good in the greenhouse. We got some rain, so I was able to refill my rain barrel, and that's helped a lot. So let me show you what other type of shenanigans I've been up to. Okay, I installed a retractable pivoting hose reel for this side of the yard, so I don't have to drag hoses all over the place. And this is the hose that I've got. I'm gonna think about burying that hose underneath all that gravel just so it's not sticking out. But also I chainsawed the top of the Bradford pear that was trying to regrow, and it was still endangering the eventually endanger the greenhouse. So I decided to do is turn this into another plant stand, and I have been trying to level this through chainsaws, planes, and wedges so that I can put a top on that. Here you'll see part of my, I guess we call it pile of shame. This is about half the trees that did not make it this winter. It was a very rough winter. Yes, my cryptomeria died, but a lot of other things died. Some of my root over rock projects, my fringe flower died. What I've been doing is, I had filled this entire bed with dead trees, and I have been slowly taking them and emptying their soil into this pot. Here's the pile of dead trees over here. Here is the pile of reclaimed pots that are still in good shape. There were a few that were trashed. And what I'm hoping to do, swaying around, what I'm hoping to do is actually use this combination of reclaimed bonsai soil with some potting soil, which I've got a couple bags of that. And I'm going to try to get this. This is my beech tree. I'm going to try to get it out of the corner and move it into that pot that was just over there that I was showing you. I've got a couple volunteers. This is a nice little maple here that is volunteered, and somewhere in here, you can see the top of it is another elm. So we're going to harvest those out of there. But the box that I put this thing, you can see, is rotting, and I'm sure that the bottom is rotted out of this, and this thing has probably even tried to see if it could put roots into the ground. But I want to move this because within a week or two, we're going to be getting a new roof on the garage and in the house. And I wanted to clear away some of the things from here that could get damaged. This is one of them, and you'll already see in the background that I have moved my box elder out of its little corner there too. That is growing really well this year, so I'm hoping that that will continue to grow well. I'm probably going to give it a good hard prune in a little bit, maybe not right away. Got more things to do. And looking over here is my seeds that I planted last fall. Success story is the ash. You can barely see that says ash for some reason. My permanent markers are not permanent on here. This, I believe, is a plum. I think it's a store-bought plum. Only 2 oaks came up. I think this says it's possibly a cherry. Now these guys have got an interesting story. These are the black walnuts. None of these were in their pots. Every one of them was replanted via squirrel, I'm assuming, in various places around my garden. And I thought they were weeds. And when I went to pull them up, they had black walnuts attached to them. So I have gone and harvested all the black walnuts that the squirrels planted, who stole them out of the pots they were originally planted in. So thank you, squirrels. As I said, we've gotten some rain, and you can see that the rain gauge or the fill gauge on my big twin 125-gallon rain barrels. It's gotten to about the halfway point. And this is with using a transfer pump, a submersible pump, to pump out of the 2 50-gallon tanks I've got in the other corners to put them, basically transfer that pump into there, so that we had rain yesterday, that I could refill those 50-gallon ones because they were almost full. I don't know if that last part made sense. Essentially what I'm doing is when these 50-gallon pumps here, I would say 50-gallon tanks get kind of full, and we're expecting rain, is I'll use a submersible pump, sump pump, to pump the water into the big tanks because they don't fill up as fast. So these, you can't collect any more than 50 gallons out of these ones. So once they get close to being 50, if there's space in the big tanks, I put them in the big tanks. And because insanity knows no bounds, I have got on auction, real cheap, another rain barrel. This one is flat backed. It doesn't have a removable lid, so this may serve as a little bit of a problem for me because I can't put a sump pump in here unless I cut a big hole in the top, because that's not big enough to put a sump pump in. Might have to come up with some other way of pumping water out of that, or just put this up on cinder blocks like the other ones and use the spigot with a bucket or anything. But I had one unutilized downspout on the garage. So, and the guy the company that's going to be doing the roofing, they said they'll reattach the rain barrels once they're done with the roofing. So, probably going to get a lot of that shingle gravel aggregate in my rain barrels for a while, because that's what new roofs do. Okay, so the only other thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is my plans for my my slab here. Hold on. This is my leftover granite slab that I had, and I originally was going to turn this into a bonsai pot, or basically do for slab planting, or maybe even just kind of do a large rectangular planting for my forest plantings. But because I got these 2 nice big above the counter sinks, I'm going to actually use those to replant my maple forests, including the one with the tree growing through the car. And I'm going to use this to make the top of the the plant stand. It's going to be on top of the tree. So, and a lot of that is because the place I was going to put that is now taken up by garden beds. Like I say, I'm hoping that the cold last night did not damage the pepper plants too much. They don't look too happy. They didn't get frost, but they don't like getting that cold. Again, the weather has really been screwy this year. 90 degrees on April 15th and 35 degrees on May 5th. This does not make sense. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed on those poblanos and a couple other peppers I have here. But we love poblanos, so we've got 2 of them over there, and I've got 3 other planters in the back. So that's what we're doing so far. Okay, we have leveled off the tree stump, put a couple boards across it, and next is a granite slab. And as I was cutting it, the first thing I noticed, it smelled like plastic, and then I realized this really isn't granite. It's one of those composite materials, man-made product. It's still a countertop material. Hard as granite, but it's basically made of an aggregate and a resin. So not natural stone, but it'll wear as good as stone, and it needs a hefty piece of machinery here to cut through it. Very dusty. See, that's my handprint, but I'm sparing you guys the noise and the dust. So let's see if this works. All right, that only took basically one more cut, and it snapped off pretty cleanly now. All right, so now we will put this in on top of those boards over there, and hopefully we'll have a nice little pedestal bench. And there we have it. We now have a bonsai bench, pedestal bench, made out of the old tree stump. I attached the slab to the wood underneath with Gorilla Glue. One could assume that the weight of this the slab's enough, would be enough for the clamping pressure for the Gorilla Glue, which has to expand, foams up, if you're familiar with the product. But I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit, put some weights on top of this to make sure it gets clamped down nice and secure. As I was editing that video, I realized I did not show you guys the final product. And I also finished the hardscaping around there, got a little gravel. That's the former top of that tree. That's part of the landscaping design now, is that old tree trunk there. I decided to put the lemon tree on top of this. There's plenty of room for other things on top of there later, but right now that ought to work. And so here is the full picture here. Got this whole area graveled in, and I was able to use that to push back the chairs here, giving me some more space. I decided to put my old well-abused and neglected Alberta spruce in the spot that used to have the lemon tree in there. There's my little solar light up doggy, and there's the greenhouse all lit up. It backs into a wheelbarrow. Okay, don't get to show this off at night very often. Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to end this video. I had a whole other bunch of footage that was me replanting one of the maple forests, but I realized that that was going to make that video much longer and was completely different context of what this video is. So I have decided to make two videos and end this one here. So you guys have a good night. Stay cool and happy bonsai.